This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by the Parker Group.
So you've probably heard that old saying, you eat with your eyes. Well, some people may agree that in many cases you buy with your eyes too.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the folks at the Parker Group at Linda Vista say there is some truth to that, especially when people are shopping for a new home. So, should you decide to put your house on the market, you've got to make sure house hunters can see how special your home really is. The Parker Group team recently sat down with Delmarva Life Sydney Whitfield to show us how.
If you're planning on selling your house, you want to make sure it's as visually appealing as can be. And even though that may sound daunting, the folks at the Parker Group at Linda Vista say it's nothing an expert can't handle.
So as you're preparing your home to sell, there's certain things that you can do to make sure that it presents itself in the best light. And Rachel has been trained and is an expert in that area, can kind of guide you through that process.
Yeah, so a lot of sellers come to us and they're kind of fearful and overwhelmed about what do I do to get my home ready to sell. And they might think that they're going to have to invest a lot of money into bringing furniture in or do something crazy, but really there are just basic, simple tweaks that you can do that will make your home photograph better, show better, and then ultimately sell more quickly and for a higher price.
When it comes to staging your house, there are a handful of tips that Rachel Parker recommends.
So there are a few things that you definitely want to do when you're thinking about getting your home on the market. And the first one I want to talk about is curb appeal, because the first thing that people are going to notice is the front of your home when they pull up. And so you're going to want to make sure that your landscaping looks really nice and trimmed. We always recommend putting a fresh layer of mulch down. That just is a really great bang for your buck way to up your landscaping. And I always also recommend that you get your home power washed if you haven't had it done in a little while. Power washing your home, the siding, the porches, the sidewalks, it just makes everything bright and sparkly and just has a really great first impression when buyers pull up.
And once you have the outside of your home squared away, she says you've also got to focus on the inside.
The next do that I want to talk about is depersonalizing. It's kind of a cliche in staging. Everybody hears depersonalizing and they roll their eyes a little bit, but it is really important because you want a buyer to walk into your home and picture themselves there and not subconsciously feel like they're invading someone else's space. And then beyond that, you also want to make sure that you take down a lot of your personal items like family photos, something that is very unique to you, like maybe your college degrees or things that are very specific to you and your family.
Rachel says it's important for your home to look photo ready during staging.
You also want to make sure that your home is nice and light and bright. So for pictures and for showings, we always recommend that you open your curtains, turn your lights on, and just make sure that the home feels light, airy, and welcoming.
And Dustin Parker says there are some staging techniques that you need to avoid.
So as you're preparing to sell, there's a couple things that you don't want to do and some wasted time and energy and money potentially that you can save. So the first thing is don't go out and spend a bunch of money on furniture for staging. We can usually retool what you have and give you some small suggestions to make things a little bit more attractive and appealing to buyers.
And he says it's never a good time to have faulty appliances, especially when you're trying to sell your house.
Don't wait until we put the house on the market to start preparing and fixing some minor repairs. So make sure that those little things are addressed prior to listing. Make sure all that your light bulbs are working, smoke detectors, those types of things. It's really important because as the buyer's walking through, they want to make sure that everything is working.
And most importantly, when the buyer is walking through, they want to be able to envision themselves in their potential home.
So between staging our homes properly, marketing them properly, we do see a big difference in how quickly they sell. Our listings are selling twice as fast as the average days on market, and we attribute a lot of that to our sellers taking the time to take care of these little tips and tricks before they put the home on the market.
Wasn't that gorgeous? And what wonderful tips too. Oh, by the way, just in case you like that house that Dustin and Rachel were sitting in, it just so happens that it's actually for sale.
You're saying you'll just take the backyard.
I would. That was gorgeous. I love that place.
Very beautiful home.